It's 8:39. Time to check in and find out how your money's doing this morning on Wall Street. Yes, we got a full trading week ahead of us. No day-and-a-half pause in the middle of the week for everybody to blow their fingers off with fireworks up on Long Island like the traders did last week. Let's check in with Phillip Statler from Statler Financial Services in downtown Sebring, who is here. Phillip, I hope you had a good weekend.
Hey, good morning, Dave. I did have a great weekend. Hope you did as well. You're right. This is the first full week of trading. And on the other side of the coin, there's really not much economic news coming out this week. And like you said, earnings really won't get started probably till the middle to the end of this week. So we'll have to see kind of what does impress the markets, what does make them move, because there's just not much out there right now.
It's usually a quiet Monday. Things start getting a little bit busier as the week progresses. Let's reset the table first of all. The Friday closes all nice and green. Dow was up 68 points on Friday. Standard & Poor's up by 30, and the NASDAQ was up almost a full percent, up 164 points. That means for the week, Standard & Poor's was up nearly 2%. NASDAQ was up over 3% for the week, and this is not bad for 3.5 days of work. Both were finished at record highs again on Friday, and that poor Dow Jones Industrial Average, it was only up 0.5% for the week. Gosh, if we could do that every week, it'd only be a 26% gain in the year. Wouldn't that be terrible?
Yeah, that'd be terrible, wouldn't it?
Too bad it can't continue on a linear basis like that. Yeah, Monday is, as usual, almost boring. We just trade on the news that comes out from the companies, but we get kind of busy as the week progresses. First of all, Jay Powell is getting hauled up before Congress this week. He's going to be in front of the Senate on Tuesday and the House on Wednesday, and they're going to do their level best to goad him into saying something stupid, which he's pretty good at avoiding saying something stupid, so those become non-events. But, boy, if he ever slips, things could go crazy on a slow news week.
Yeah, they really could. I mean, the only big news I see is you got the National Federation of Independent Businesses. They have an optimism index that will come out tomorrow morning early. Wholesale inventories come out Wednesday. Like I said, there's not much till Thursday. You get the jobless numbers, and Thursday's going to be kind of a big deal. You get the CPI number comes out. And so those numbers are kind of important. And then Friday, you get the PPI. So
yeah, the macro stuff is going to be busy at the end of the week. And then starting on Thursday, we're supposed to start getting the first blushes of things, like from some of the big ones like Delta and Pepsi and Progressive Insurance. And then the financials start really starting the floodgates open on Friday. So all of the news that's really market moving probably is going to be Thursday and Friday, which means we're, like I said, trading off the rumors and the news from the different companies. Found a tidbit. We were talking about the commercial real estate bubble a couple of weeks ago, and then the Fed last week, or week before, I think maybe, did a stress test on the big banks, and they said that if commercial real estate hit the toilet, big banks would survive. Well, now some of the regional banks are getting nervous. First Foundation, a Dallas-based regional bank, they had to take $228 million worth of investor cash to infuse the thing. They're in some trouble on the commercial real estate bubble, and I don't think that's going to be the last tidbit we hear on that topic. Do you think?
No, probably not. I mean, what people don't realize is when it comes to commercial real estate financing, they don't get a 30-year mortgage like you and I do on our homes. They get a 5-year renewal. So usually every 3 to 5 years, they come up for renewal, and so the new interest rate will plug in, and so interest rates are a lot higher than what they were 5 years ago. The question is, and with COVID, so many people are now working from home, they're abandoning their office space and not renewing their leases, and so that's going to put a hard spot on commercial real estate.
Absolutely. And I think anybody that ever bought an ARM on their home probably realizes what that probably feels like. I've got an acquaintance who had an adjustable rate mortgage and just took a big increase. The timing was just wrong for her. And imagine that happening when you've got billions of dollars worth of debt that's renewing. Talking about the jobless numbers from last week and everything, I'm starting to see, I've got 3 different tip sheets in front of me, and they're all saying the case for a September rate cut is building. Last time I saw it was up to about a 50% chance that the Fed's going to cave and reduce interest rates at this September meeting. Both you and I are kind of sitting back and saying, huh? But evidently some of the trade press at the very least is starting to rattle cages for that. How many times do you think we'll have to have rubber chicken speakers from Federal Reserve governors saying not going to happen before they finally don't believe it?
It might take a lot, Dave, with all the numbers coming out, but we sure got them coming out, right? We got the rubber chicken speakers. I mean, you got Michael Barr tomorrow, Michelle Bowman. Wednesday, you've got Lisa Cook and you got Austin Goolsbee. So you got a lot of them hitting the news circuit here this week, and we'll have to see what they have to say. And that may be the only thing that impacts the markets in the next 3 days.
Oh, absolutely. Between that and Powell in front of Congress, I mean, they aren't giving him free food, but that's got some weight to go along with it as well. The first crack in that armor started hitting Friday. John Williams, the president of the New York Fed, added his voice to the chorus, and he said, look, we're confident the Fed will reach its 2% goal, but he said the distance between the current rates and the 2% target got to be on a sustained basis. Hit it 1 month, that's not going to be enough to make them reduce our interest rates. We got to keep it going for a few months before at least his vote's going to be for a cut.
Well, I mean, likely so. Like I said, it's not this month's data that influences them. It's the accumulation of data and where are we heading and how fast are we getting there.
Absolutely. And we talk about the job ad figures from Friday. A chart came out over the weekend on one of my tip sheets. And when you see it taken across like 2 years, you can pretty well see the jobs added trend going down and the unemployment trend going up by a little bit. At the very least, one of the two goals that the Fed had, get a sustainable 4% unemployment rate, seems to be, well, let's say it's approaching achievable now. If they want to hold on for a couple of months, we kind of had a couple of months of that. Now all we have to do is get the inflation under control, right?
Well, that's right, and that is a big deal. Is getting that inflation number down to that 2.5% that they want, and it seems like we bounce up and we bounce down, and the question is, can we get some consistency moving in that direction?
And that's going to be the iffy process, and we'll be getting a feel as to how confident they are with all the rubber chicken speeches and Powell's testimony in front of Congress this week. Tidbits out this morning. I got one. Boeing has agreed to plead guilty to a criminal fraud charge tied to those 737 MAX crashes. If you want a picture of a snake bit company, Boeing is kind of hitting that poster child status, isn't it?
It is, which is confusing to this morning, Dave, as the stock's actually trading up 0.9% this morning.
Maybe that comes under that heading of investors like certainty and they don't like uncertainty, right?
I guess that's the only thing I can think of when it comes to
if you know you're going to get your butt kicked, at the very least that beats not knowing how hard it's going to be kicked.
Well, that's true. I guess now they know what the number is.
Yeah, I think so. You had a big merger and acquisition note to talk about, didn't you?
I did, and it's a company that nobody's probably heard of called Morphic Holdings. But man, they have caught the eye of Eli Lilly, and they're a biopharma company, and they're gonna acquire them at $3.2 billion. So they're trading up 75% this morning. They closed Friday at I don't know, it's at 50. I mean, I'm sorry, at 28 maybe. They're at 55 right now.
They must have something in a patent file that Eli Lilly wants, don't they?
Well, it is. They have a treatment that they have developed for colitis and Crohn's disease.
Oh, that's a hot TV ad product right now. That may answer a lot of questions. Whatever the disease du jour on the TV ads are tends toward being the hot medicine, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so let's see what the stockholders of Eli Lilly think. Well, they're up about 0.5% this morning.
Beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. Resetting the tables for the morning, it was a relatively green day on Friday, which gave us a net positive week in all three of the major indexes. 45 minutes before we open for a full week of trading. How are we looking, Phillip?
Dave, we got some green ink on the indexes this morning. Not huge though. The Dow's up about $59. between a tenth and 0.2%. The S&P 500 is just barely up over zero, up about 0.06%. Same with the Nasdaq 100. It's up like 0.02%. Big winner this morning is probably the Russell 2000 because it got clobbered on Friday, but it's up about 0.6%. On the other side, we've got red ink across the board. Silver down 1.1%, but still had a huge jump on Friday. It's up to $31.33 an ounce. Gold is down 0.7%, and then crude oil down 0.5%, but not near enough, Dave. It's still at $82.72. And somebody pointed out to me this morning that gas is up 16%. I mean, 16 cents from where it was a couple days ago.
And yet, does your SUV need a refill?
No, thankfully I got about a half a tank. Maybe oil prices will come down before I need to fill up.
My four-banger got filled up on Friday. I'm considering myself fortunate. Overseas markets, China really took a bath overnight. The mainland Shenzhen market in China was down by 1.5%, and that kind of dragged the entire Asian rim down. On average, about 0.33% total at 6 a.m. this morning. Europe on the other side of the fence, generally up. Everything's looking green so far halfway through their trading day. About 0.33% on balance across the European community. Getting retirement plans together counts for a lot, and it counts even more the older you get and the closer you get to that date. How do I find you to get my plans in place, Phillip?
Devin, give us a call at 863-382-0037 to schedule their core retirement analysis. And then join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk 730, 95.3 FM.
And us back here again tomorrow morning about the same time on Light. You have a good day, my friend, and I'll see you then.
All right, take care.
Thank you. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler.
Hey, folks, again, I want to thank you for joining us today. Hope your week gets off to a good start, and I hope you join me again tomorrow. Take care. Bye now.